All right, we done with seaweed?
I'm gonna make you guys eat seaweed.
My number 4 is like when I'm doing this podcast, I feel like I'm channeling him a little bit. Sometimes I'm like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right? Glenn Howerton, underrated.
Oh my God, I love Glenn Howerton.
Glenn Howerton's hilarious.
I just watched the last episode of Sunny. That was, what was it, season 16?
The most current episode. The last
Yeah.
episode of Sunny that is like new.
Epic, so relatable.
One of the
he
best.
has some of his epic blow-ups. Spoiler, it's almost a little bit of a letdown to know that he wasn't really flipping out on people. But it was still funny and still relatable because, dealing with customer service and the way things are set up now where everything is like interconnected, but the customer service isn't interconnected is beyond frustrating.
And if you're watching that episode and you also watch the podcast, you can see that he's kind of drawing from himself there too. He's like drawing from things that frustrate him.
Oh, yeah, they talk about
like-
how he was locked out of the parking garage, right?
Yeah.
Or the car in his parking garage.
They're drawing from that,
Uh-huh.
and then they're like letting him. It's got to be a little bit freeing for him too, right? To be able to like do that stuff
yeah.
and be like, that's not really me.
Well,
that's
that's
kind of like Larry David. Larry David does it. Like Larry David plays up.
right.
You know what I mean? He's himself, and a lot of those stuff that drive him crazy. But he's allowed to be a dick on TV where he wouldn't be in real life.
Right.
So I mean, that's what Glenn Howerton does. But Glenn Howerton, ever since I've been watching Sunny. And I started watching, I think,
Right around Mac Gets Fat.
right before that season. So
Right.
6, I guess, season 6, in between 6 and 7, I watched all up to 6. And then when Matt got fat, I was already watching it, but I didn't start watching it live.
I think that's the first season we started watching live.
And ever since then, I've known that Glenn Howerton is super talented. You can see his acting chops in so many ways. And I really loved him as Jack Griffin in AP Bio. I thought he was really funny.
I only saw
there.
season 1.
He's really good there. That show, by the way, is underrated. But they kind of they made it be too much more about the adults and not. It should have been more Jack and the kids, and then they brought in all these other people.
And him he goes along with Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, who are kind of known for one thing, but they embrace it.
Well, he didn't used to.
He loves his fans,
But-
and you can tell.
But he's also an example of
I mean,
one-
you've met him, right?
Oh yeah, him and I are buds.
You guys are tight.
me and Glenn. Yeah, me, Mac, and
You have a picture of him,
me,
right?
Mac, Charlie, and Glenn. We hung out in Philly a while back.
And
now.
don't forget your wife was there.
My wife was there. Yeah, we saw those guys. We were VIPs back then. We VIP'd it up. They made us VIPs.
Right.
They made us VIPs. It only cost $600.
to become VIP.
No, that was worth it. That was amazing. That show was amazing. And when he got up there and
He's talking about the live podcast show.
he was up there with this duster, and everybody was yelling at him to burn the duster, and he was like screaming
He
back
played
at us,
along
"We're not
with it."
gonna burn the duster!"
I watched that. You could clearly see you guys in that
I'm
live
like,
podcast.
"Burn the duster!" He's like, "I'm not gonna burn the
I gotta
duster."
admit, I'm hella jelly. Hella jelly.
Yeah, Glenn Howerton. I mean, yeah, he's underrated. You feel like the other guys are rated okay. Like Charlie gets a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he was Luigi.
Yeah, and Rob McElhaney.
He's like best friends with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he has
They own the soccer team that just won like a championship,
Yep,
right?
and they
Oh,
have-
I'm sorry, a football team.
and they have football, and they have a lot more. Like it seems like they're more people know who they are more than Glenn Howerton, but man,
Right.
Glenn Howerton.
And of course, Danny DeVito. Everybody knows who Danny DeVito was before Sonny even existed.
So yeah, Glenn Howerton's really great. But I'm gonna let you guys move on. You guys watch Phil for a minute because I got to itch my ear. So look at look at Phil.
All right, so we're on my number 4. All right, Jaden's had some weird ones. This is my weird one. I love to roll the windows down when I'm driving on gravel driveways or parking lots.
Is that underrated or is it fucking weird?
Have you ever noticed it though? Even like even walking on it or riding like a bike, there's just something about that crackle sound of the tires hitting the rocks and then the rocks hitting each other.
I know what you're
I
thinking
just
about. but
enjoy the sound.
I feel like that belongs on a different list. Like
the point-
weird things that I like, things that I know. Like I like that your doorknob smells like copper or some shit like that. Not underrated.
To the
What
point-
do you want people to rate it higher?
I want other people to try it. Like, I'll be jamming to the best song in the world. I'll have Don't Stop to Get Enough on the car, and I'm jamming, keep on.
Is that the best song?
And then I get to gravel driveway, power on the radio, roll the windows down, and just enjoy it.
So you just drive into people's gravel driveways and back up. Here comes the gravel guy.
I'll go out of...
Hey, folks, how are you doing? Just wanted to hear your gravel.
What can I say? It's a weird thing. And you're right. Maybe it doesn't belong on underrated list, but it's just something I think of that I've never heard.
Mommy, there's a guy in our driveway. Oh, honey, it's okay. He just likes to
gravel,
hear.
man.
He just likes to hear the gravel.
I like to think it's like he's like some wanted criminal, but they can't figure out his identity. We have to figure out who the gravel man is. And they like have pictures of people, and they're like drawing dots between.
30 years later, he's like pulls into a driveway. We got him.
Got him.
Are you the gravel man? I haven't gone by that name.
Like instead of taking a shortcut through like a paved, I go the long way, and like the detective notices it. He wanted to be on that gravel. He went out of his way to be on that gravel. That's our man.
All right, Jaden, what's your number 4?
It's closed. My number 4, it's Froyo frozen yogurt.
Well, it's fat free.
No,
It's
yeah,
not
it's
fat
fat-free.
free.
It's fat-free.
not fat free.
If it's fat free and it tastes that good,
That
You guys are referencing Seinfeld.
yes,
but-
we are.
and that episode drove me nuts because fat free doesn't mean calorie free, right? Even if it's fat free, it has a lot of sugar in it. And a lot
Because that during that time, that was the like era where people were telling you you had to cut all the fat out of your life, and that's how you would be healthy.
that's what
That's not true.
that's what the sugar people told them.
That's not true.
Right, it's sugar. Sugar's the bad thing. Added sugar is the bad thing.
Right, and there's no added sugar in whole milk. I mean, there's fat in whole milk.
I mean, fat's not great for you,
It's
but
gross.
Whole milk is so good.
Gross.
But anyway, frozen yogurt. Frozen yogurt is so delicious.
See, I disagree. I go to Yo Lickety, which is basically all frozen yogurt, right? I go straight to the custard
Me
line.
too.
Get me,
Me
some
too.
chocolate ice cream, and I'll mix in the cookie dough.
I just feel like I don't like it more than I like ice cream, but
it's good enough.
It's good enough for me to be like, it's so underrated.
That's why you'll go to
Do you have a go-to flavor?
Yo Lickety.
No, that's part of the reason.
Do frozen yogurts have as many flavors though?
There's
Yeah,
a ton. Yo Lickety. There's
Is it-
like
is it
there's
worth-
like 12, right?
is it
There are
worth
more
making?
flavor. I would go as far to say is I think that there are more flavors of frozen yogurt than there are of
I
ice
feel
cream.
like if you have a place like Yo Lickety, right? Because it's frozen yogurt mostly. You only need 2 because you have so many toppings. It's just like an ice cream
Yeah.
bar. You don't need all those flavors of ice cream. If you're going to Yo Lickety, you're going there because there's a lot of toppings.
No,
you're not going to Yo Lickety to be like, hey man, they got great frozen yogurt there.
Dude, no, I like having the variety of flavor and because when you have like an ice cream bar, you have like 3 types of ice cream max. But if you're going to like a place where there's a lot of different types of ice cream, that's the main focus. With like frozen yogurt places, you get both of them, and that's
Okay, but you know what? That episode of Seinfeld is really good,
It is. It's funny.
right?
Yeah. What's that one? George is like going like this all the time.
Yeah, his arm. My arm does like this. Your arm does like this.
And Giuliani is a big part of it, right? Aren't
Yeah.
they talking about Rudy Giuliani a lot in it?
yeah, because Kramer messes up his blood test, and and George is going, "What do you got to go to the doctor for? My arm goes like this," and his mom goes, "Your arm goes like this." The doctor like calls him out on it and stuff. It's so funny.
They said it's fat free,
Dude,
Jerry.
Jerry Stiller, another actor who is very underrated.
He really is.
He's great in Seinfeld.
Not only
And
he's
King of
great in
Queens.
King, he's better in King of Queens.
I haven't watched enough
his
episodes
character-
to judge
his-
it because that show's terrible.
His character in King of Queens is unlike any other character. He doesn't fit in any of those. You know what I mean? Like you think like the weird old father in the show would fit more into a role like that, but he doesn't. He's Arthur Spooner is a very unique character, and he's hilarious. Okay, are we on to number 3?
Number 3, Mark.
Do you have
what's
more
yours?
about Yo?
No, I don't have
Okay.
anything else over for me.
I'm just gonna say mine, but in general, my minivan, underrated. Underrated. People, yeah, you know what?
It's because they're not sexy. They're not cool looking.
I'm a soccer dad. It's a minivan. I mean, and sometimes when I'm on a bridge, I can really feel the wind, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, I love it.
Well, don't they wear down a little bit, like the tires and
Yeah.
stuff too, because you're stopping heavier loads.
It's higher. I'm still a little bit higher up than
Yeah.
a regular car. I can bring a lot of people. We like to do our Friday festivity all the time. Like to bring. I can put 6 comfortably, 7 uncomfortably. I can stow the seats. I can carry big things. I can.
Right.
You know,
You put the seats down, you got a lot of space. It helps moving.
Yep. So
And you're not exposed. You're not like a truck where if it rains, this stuff's getting all wet.
right, and I listen. Everybody doesn't want. They don't like to drive it.
Right.
I don't
Okay,
mind driving
so
minivans.
Jaden doesn't like to drive it.
hate
Michelle
driving
doesn't like to drive it. Grayson doesn't.
Once
like
you
to
get used to
That's
driving
fine.
longer.
Fine if you don't like to drive it. I understand. I can see that why you don't like to drive it. Sometimes I have a hard time getting into Jaden's car just because I'm
Yeah, I don't
I'm
like
almost
low cars
50 years
anymore.
old and it's so low.
Yeah. But I remember when I turned 16 or 17 and I got my driver's license, there was a van for sale for $600. And I was like, why not? Because at the time we were going out a lot, so sometimes friends would need rides to go play basketball at Jared's or Harry's. And, I just thought it'd be cool to have a van. I mean, I didn't end up getting it, but it makes sense.
I like
if you're going to
my
have a lot
minivan.
of people driving around.
I like my minivan. I don't, you can make fun of
Maybe
me all
they
you
can make
want.
them sexier, make them a little cooler.
Yeah, I could paint.
I don't see how they can.
They could. They could find
They're cool
ways.
enough. They're cool. I think they're cool.
You should paint a dragon on the side. Of
Maybe a
yours.
dragon,
Maybe
dragon,
dragon
or how about like a skull with like a
Tarantula coming out of a fire.
Guys, that was a reference to our other episode, Overrated. Go watch that right now if you
yeah.
haven't
Tattoos
already.
are overrated. So, anyways, minivans number 3.
All right, I'm sorry, Jaden, but here we go.
It's all right,
Number
man.
3, the sport of baseball and Major League Baseball. Everything about it. NFL is fun. I get it, but I just think because guys slammed into each other because it's not like impact, because it's not player versus player slamming into each other. People call it boring.
They got to have the violence.
There's such there's such beauty to that game when it comes to the stadiums and the field. I talked about the grass, something with the dirt. I love with the grass, and the fact that every field can be different home run dimensions. Like Fenway Park, you got the huge wall, and Tiger Stadium, it's 800 feet in center field. Just the fact that they're so
really 800.
different. I'm exaggerating.
No, I'm just
of
telling
course.
everybody.
But and watching a live baseball game, a lot of people will say is still the most fun. As opposed to being in a football stadium and being in a basketball.
People would rather be at home and watching a football game for a couple reasons. The weather.
I mean,
first of all.
how many people get a ball when you go to a football game or a basketball
Nobody,
game?
most of the time.
Exactly. Well, a lot of times football, they'll give the ball to someone in the front row. And by the way, can we talk about that? Why does the kid in the front row always get the ball? That's the rich kid. Poor people can't afford that. Why does the spoiled rich kid get the ball? Throw the ball in the upper deck.
Because they made more money. They spent more. They spent more money.
Throw
so
the ball in the upper deck. Give the poor kid some balls.
That's how the world is. Make more money.
But baseball, the pitcher hitter
that?
aspect, and it's
I agree that baseball is underrated. It's hard to say it's underrated because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, but
it's considered the least popular of all 3 sports, right? The 3 major ones, maybe even less than hockey.
if you're in Canada, yeah. But
I don't know.
No, but I mean, younger kids don't seem to like it as much as they used to.
Because it's hard. It's harder. It's hard to
It
pick
is
up
harder.
when you're young. And if you're not good at it, you give it up and you move on to soccer where you just kick a freaking ball back and forth.
Right. Baseball is also like, it's not just that it's harder, but it's like you're on the spot. Like it's your turn to bat.
Yeah.
And everybody's watching you bat, and you can't just you can't run away from it. Like in basketball, you can, I don't want the ball. Don't pass me the
Don't
ball.
pass to
Just
him, yep.
run away. Don't, you know what I mean? You can't run away from it. And so
Everybody's going to get the ball hit to them. Everybody has to go to the plate when it's their turn. There's no avoiding it.
Right.
And I grew up in a town that didn't like baseball. It was all soccer and track.
Yep. All the athletes.
We lost all the athletes to track.
You can win. You can dominate other sports with athleticism. Baseball, you can be a better baseball player if you're athletic, but you still got to be able to do the skills.
Right.
You can't just be a fast runner and be good at baseball, like kind of football. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You have to have good hand-eye coordination. You have to be smart. And there's a lot of strategy to it that people don't understand.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more that makes it difficult, that a lot of people don't. Let me hit you like 30 ground balls and see how many you field and throw properly. It's so much harder.
The average person can't catch a fly ball and can't hit a fastball.
Yes, they still consider hitting a major league pitcher the most hardest thing to do in all of sports.
But most people can't judge a fly ball well enough to catch it.
Right. It's harder than it looks.
Yep.
Especially if you're catching and the ball goes straight up in the air.
Mick?
You look like you have something to add.
Do I?
I wish baseball had something to do with. What do you think of a baseball hitter?
Hitter. I don't even know her.
There it is. Jade, what's your number 3 most underrated thing?
My number 3, I'm going to incur a lot more Seinfeld references again.
Okay.
But soup as a meal.
As a meal?
As the meal.
Okay.
See, I can get on board if it's more like a stew, something heavier as a meal, or maybe even chili, and you have to have a salad to go with it. You can't just eat the soup.
Jaden likes ramen too, so that's probably where this is coming from.
Not even just that. Like I got like a big bowl of broccoli cheddar, I could just have that for dinner.
And soup and Seinfeld, I don't get the reference. I don't
because
get
there's an episode of Seinfeld where Jerry owes somebody a meal. Kenny Banya, he owes Kenny Banya a meal,
that's
and he just
okay.
gets
Okay,
soup.
that's it.
Wasn't there another Seinfeld episode about soup?
I'm not sure.
I don't
Some
know.
kind of
soup.
some sort of stew fascist, I believe.
I don't know.
Soup is good. I didn't appreciate soup until I worked at the Pulteneyville Pickle Company and started making them. And now I have to try them, to see if they're good. And I would try them because they're there too. And I worked there, and I really gotta. We made this amazing Tuscan spinach bean and noodle or sausage, Tuscan spinach bean and sausage, and we made a cheeseburger chowder. The owner Scott Stead called it a garbage plate you ate with a spoon. You could eat that as a meal. That was freaking delicious.
I don't know that I can do soup as a meal very much. I could do chili as a meal. Is chili a kind of soup?
I don't know if it's considered a soup.
I think that's a topic for another day.
Okay, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yeah, those are topics for another.
I like beanless chili, by the way.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? It absolutely is.
It's meat between breads. Well, it's processed.
All right, so we don't have a discussion here.
But anyway,
A hot dog is a sandwich. If you don't believe me, stop watching. No, don't stop watching. We love you.
Or do if you're not having a good time, stop watching.
If you're not having a good time, what's wrong with you?
That's right. But I didn't start getting into soup. I like to make soup.
Soup, yeah, I like.
It's
I enjoy making
it's
soup.
fun to make.
That one soup that you made, you haven't made it in a while, like ramen.
I haven't made it in a while.
Spicy curry ramen.
But I started making a lot of soup because in culinary arts, I don't mean to brag, but I won the soup making competition.
No, all right. I remember.
So then you kind of thought you were good at it. So
Yeah, listen.
I'm Jaden. I make soup.
I won that and the first round of the chop challenge. I think.
But that wasn't soup,
made
was
it.
it? That
And
was
he beat people who probably went on to have cooking as a career, and he is not pursuing that option. So
well, they were at the same level at that point.
No.
It was
I
trash.
just-
It was
I just-
garbage. Did you taste it?
Listen,
You're gonna
I just-
kill
I
someone.
just want to be good enough at cooking to where my kids will be like, "Oh yeah, my dad's cooking was great."
Okay,
You know what I mean?
that's pretty good. Are we on to number 2 now?
number 2,
Yeah,
you're number 2.
My number 2 is
You're
a
number
TV
2.
show.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you guys guesses. What do you think it is? TV show
Oh
that
my
I think is
God! Did
underrated.
we already discuss it a little
Nope.
bit in this
Nope.
episode?
It's not King of Queens.
Okay, good.
Number 2. Think about that.
Oh, I think I know
Mick, what do you think it is?
the number 2
I
show that
it's
this.
not the Mary Tyler Moore show.
Oh, shit, I'm out then.
I think it has 3 words in the title.
Nope, it has 4 words in the title.
All right.
It has 4 titles.
Oh yeah, 4 words in the title.
Oh, Buffy.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. Well, can you call? Well, yeah, because it
It's a
pretty
cult-
much just has a cult following.
Classic cult following.
And the cult
So-
following people are obsessed with it.
It's so good. It's so well written. I mean, people don't like Josh Whedon anymore
No,
because
'cause
he's a dick.
he is a dick.
He's a dick. It looks
Yeah.
like he's a dickhead. From everything you understand. Like, I'm not going to just pretend he's not a dick just because I like his show, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
he's a
not.
dick.
I'm not. I don't have a MAGA hat on, do I? Okay. You're gonna cut it. Fine. Once in a while, we can do it. I can do it. You don't. You can't do it. They don't want to do it. They don't want to be political.
Listen, I'm less of a dick than anybody I know. I really am. I really am. I'm
If
not gonna
anybody,
lie.
if anybody's not,
If anybody
a dick,
knows
it's me.
about being a dick, it's better. It's me. It's me. I really am.
I'm not a dick. Okay.
We can cut. If we
Anyways, Joss Whedon seems like he's a dick, but the show was so good.
Right.
So good. So well written.
I couldn't get into it. I tried a couple episodes. I couldn't.
And it's so smartly written. It's so intelligent and layered, and there's so many depths to it that there's 2 different colleges that offered college credit to take a class where they just watched it and talked about it, talked about the literary terms and the examples of shadows and foreshadowing and irony.
And they had quite a few famous people, like Sarah Michelle Gellar
Sarah
went on to
Michelle
be pretty.
Allison Hannigan.
Scott Evil is in it, right?
Yep.
I can't remember his name.
Seth Green.
Seth Green.
Yeah.
Allison Hannigan went into
Allison
How I Met
Hannigan.
Your Mother and
Elijah
American
Dushku.
Pie. Oh, I forgot Elijah Dushku was in it.
Cordelia Carpenter. She's like
Charisma.
Charisma
Charisma
Carpenter.
Carpenter. You
Charisma.
combined-
Cordelia
combined-
Carpenter and Charisma Chase. It's CC and CC both times.
Nope,
It must
you,
have
did
been
it, you did it backwards.
No,
again.
I know. But I did it backwards on purpose. Her name is Charisma Carpenter. In the show, it's Cordelia Chase.
Right. And Angel, he was in Bones for
Yeah,
like
David
30
Boreanaz.
years or something like
But
that. It was
if
crazy.
Charisma Carpenter, if you're watching this, I love you.
Christ, man.
I don't know if she's watching it or not, but if she
I
is,
hope she's not.
if she, I'm sorry.
I want anybody to watch this.
But
I
if
hope
she's
is.
if she's watching it one more time, I love you.
She clicked off. She just,
She's turned it
clicked
off.
off. She's filing. her
Listen, I'm not
restraining
being
order.
I'm not being
She's
pervy. I
filling
just
out
said I
paperwork
love
right
you.
now for
I
restraining
just said I love you. That's all I said.
Yeah, but you said, I love you.
I love
Yeah,
you.
she's starting the
You didn't,
paperwork
say,
right now.
you didn't say, oh my God, Charisma, I love you.
Listen,
you
I
said, I love you.
No, I didn't. No, wait. This is staying in, and I am not meaning it to sound like I love you, like that. I meant it to be like
I love you,
timid,
Charisma.
like Charisma.
I love you.
And by the way, Charisma Carpenter, I love you, like that. I love you.
And this is coming from inside your house.
It's not really true, Charisma. I don't even know where you live. I don't.
Probably, if she's watching it, it definitely is coming from.
I don't listen. I don't know where.
Right now, she's up in bed going, where's all that noise coming from?
I don't listen. I don't know where she lives since she moved. No, I'm just kidding. But I've had a huge crush on Charisma Carpenter ever since like season 2 of Buffy or whatever. Season 1 of Buffy.
Do you have anything else to add about Buffy?
It's just watch. It's got a lot. There's a lot of episodes. If you're looking something,
Where is it? Is it streaming anywhere?
Hulu. Yeah,
Because sometimes I need something to watch when my wife's not.
You're not
She's a
gonna watch
nurse.
Buffy.
I might I put it in the background when I'm making a stadium or doing some Ricky Davis.
I don't believe you.
I might. I will.
You've been so far against it for so long. I don't know why you would do it now.
Out because, like I said, I need something to watch. Right now, I'm watching Succession because people say it's so good. Blah, 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 blah. Maybe
Overrated?
that should be in the overrated.
Okay, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, underrated. And if you watch it and like it, watch Angel because it's also underrated, also by Joss Whedon, and it's really good.
Buffy the Vampire what?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, Slayer. I don't even know her.
Okay, my number 2.
Yep.
My number 2 is the almighty weird one, Mr. Weird Al Yankovic. So funny. His live shows are so fun to the point where I've seen him 10 times live.
And
dating back to 1999. We're talking like 24 years ago. I was watching this dude live.
what in the world is a better lyric than have a banana, have a whole bunch. It doesn't matter what you have for lunch.
He's
Just
someone
eat
who
it,
is
eat it.
never taking himself too
Damn.
seriously.
Exactly.
He's
a genius, right? He's really smart.
the parodies they're not just funny because of the different words or but the way he uses them in the same song, I don't know, it's hard to describe. But I mean, you almost have to hear the real song for it to be funny in the parody too.
Sometimes,
does
yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. It's not just parodies either, though. It's like You make me want to staple bagels to my face and remove them with a pitchfork.
Right. A lot of random.
Sometimes
comedy,
you make me want to build a model of the Eiffel Tower out of Belgium waffles.
I am impressed that you remember that song that well. I mean, we're talking like 1987, 88.
You make me.
That song.
You make me. That's what you do to me.
Yeah.
That's what you do
and
to
his
me.
movie's underrated. His movie is freaking hilarious. UHF. We have pictures of us on the Wheel of Fish.
There's a lot of
We met Weird Al Yankovic.
We did.
Jaden, you were going to say something?
I watched the first little bit of UHF. Appropriately rated.
Yeah,
You don't think it's funny? No. Oh, come on, dude. You're an Al fan.
I know.
How many
He
times
likes
have we
his
seen
music.
Al
I
together?
know.
3 times?
3 times.
He
took
likes
your
his
birthday.
music, though.
I like the music. His movie is just...
The movie's hilarious.
It's too-
Come on.
I don't know. I kind of felt the same way I feel about Wayne's World. It's too
It's a parody, so it's
far gone.
like it's like
modern
Airplane and Naked Gun, where it's like over the top slapstick.
Yeah,
and-
slapstick, not parody. But
well, he kind of does
Maybe-
parody where he
maybe-
has the dream about being Rambo, and it starts off like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Maybe
and-
I just didn't get enough into the movie.
watch it
Like,
again, bro.
Get far enough into it before I had to... Because I had to just turn it off.
And in the movie that he just did, the one that's like a parody of a biopic about his life with Daniel Radcliffe.
Is it a parody or is it actually a biopic?
No, it's a parody of a biopic because
So-
he didn't go and fight the drug cartel.
you guys,
Oh.
It was on Roku. It should have been in the theater. I would have loved to see it in the theater. Al is the man. He's my second favorite music artist.
it reminds me of, my wife. Her name is Michelle.
Yeah.
I married her. Do you remember sweet Michelle? She was my
High school romance.
She was fun to talk to and nice to smell.
So I took her to the homecoming dance. Then I tied her to a chair and I shaved off all her hair. And I left her in the desert all alone. Well, sometimes in my dreams I can still hear her screams. Oh, I wonder if she ever made it home. I tell ya. Great song.
That was my wife. Michelle.
That's from the Fat album, by the way. Or no, even worse, because it was bad, even worse. But Fat was the main song. He had to cut out. The last shows I saw him, and he didn't do costume,
because
the
I'm
fat costume,
I'm fat.
because it was when the Finding Neverland specials came out, and they're respecting the victims. But that was so fun in the shows. He gets up there and he does Amish Paradise, and everyone goes wild. He comes out in the outfit, or if he comes out in the Nirvana outfit on, and everyone knows what's coming. Yeah!
You know what we should do? We should write and perform our own parodies.
I have some parodies. I have a parody on YouTube
so
out
do I.
there.
Oh,
So
man.
do I.
It's almost as if we've thought of that idea already as
Wait,
well.
did we think of this one already too?
Are we being freaking Truman
No,
Showed
I-
right now,
I-
guys?
Are we predicting the future? So we're going to Jaden's number 2.
Number 2, the movie Brother Bear. It was
good.
like an early
I've never seen
2000s Disney movie. It was so good.
Phil Collins' music was pretty good, underrated in there.
Yeah, great music, great
good.
soundtrack. I liked the story.
It made you love bears.
It made me love bears.
I said bears. It made you love
You said
bears.
But it was just my favorite animated movie as a kid, and it's my favorite.
When he
animated
was
movie now.
little, because he's always been just he wants everybody to be happy and get along, and he told me that his favorite movie was Brother Bear because there's no bad guys.
There's no bad guys? How
Yeah.
can there be a movie with no bad
Thought it
guys?
was cute.
Well, it's because I realized that the main antagonist isn't really a villain.
Oh, okay.
Right. It's just like the whole movie's about your point of view, about your perspective. And
Okay.
the kid hates bears, or
That's
he-
not the one that's considered like this great movie, right? Is it Paddington?
You're talking about Paddington.
Yeah,
like Paddington 2. It's like a
Paddington's
sequel.
not even a real bear. We're talking
yeah,
about
Paddington's
real
like a-
bears.
I know, but Paddington
Well-
is the one that everyone talks about. Like, it's a great movie, right?
I don't know about real bears.
Well, they're supposed to be real bears.
Right.
In Paddington, they're not supposed to be. He's supposed to be a toy.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
So tell everybody I'm
Will I-
on my
Disney.
way.
Will I enjoy it as an adult if I give it a shot, or is it just something
No.
that you got to be a kid and it's
Prob-
nostalgia?
well,
probably-
I
probably
love
not.
it. I love it, and I will watch it
He
until
still
the day I die.
Okay. So I shouldn't bother giving it a shot?
Nah,
Okay.
right?
I
All right.
mean,
You're not really into cartoon.
I mean,
movies.
you could. I don't know. You personally, I don't think you would enjoy it, but I think
if-
there are adults out there that would.
When
enjoy it.
Jaden has
Okay.
kids or Grayson has kids, they can watch it with their great uncle.
Yeah, if I'm babysitting them, I'll throw it on.
Their great uncle Phil.
All right.
All right.